Hello and welcome to Daybreak, Fraser Valley Weekend. I'm Carrie Moore.
And I'm Kelly Patton.
It's summer!
Okay, not quite yet.
No.
Summer begins tonight at 7:42 p.m.
And I'm sure we checked that because we weren't so right with the spring. So this episode, we're so glad to welcome in the new season with two very special guests.
First, Mayor of Chilliwack, His Excellency.
It's actually his worship.
His worship, Ken Popove.
And we have Fashionista on the show today, Lynn Kay from Lynn Kay Designs, who specializes in Indigenous designs and has been featured in shows all over the world and presented her collection at the incredible chillcouture 2024.
Which was very, very good. And chillcouture returns tomorrow on National Indigenous Peoples Day. And we have an interview with Annette Williams. You did an interview for Chilliwack Learning Society.
Plus, Natalie Bedard is back with another Total Wellness segment sponsored by Rivercrest Contracting.
So, our salute to summer this week on Daybreak, Fraser Valley Weekend.
So what did you do this weekend?
Well, last weekend, Father's Day, but otherwise known as Grad Weekend in my house.
She was beautiful. I saw it on social media.
Thank you. And huge congrats to all the grads.
Yes.
My favorite part is I don't think there was any bad news or sad stories from the weekend, which is very amazing. Helpful. So thank you for being safe as well. Yeah. We did Father's Day, which meant I slept in. I'm not sure what he was doing, but then we celebrated. How about you?
We always do breakfast on Sundays, so I cooked, so that was a stretch because he normally does. And all the kids were over. We swam in the pool. It was lovely.
That sounds great. I guess you could say in my house, my gift to my husband was that I didn't cook.
And that you got to sleep in.
And that I got to sleep in. So I was nicer and he didn't have to eat my food.
Exactly.
Yeah, see? Happy Father's Day.
Everybody wins.
All right.
Okay, let's get to the news.
Yeah, so what happened this week?
Well, in the country, this is a kind of cool announcement. Canada Strong Pass, which is really not any pass, but nothing physical. But we get to go to parks and nationally owned things.
Yes.
They're encouraging us.
Nationally owned parks,
museums?
national museums. So
Via rail.
Not the provincial stuff, but via rail.
If you're under 24.
Yeah, it's like free or heavily discounted, including camping. So for those of you who are out there, and if you already have your Via Rail tickets, give them a call and
they'll rebate you.
They'll rebate you, So that's really exciting, and that's all to keep people
in Canada,
traveling in Canada, because the numbers of Canadians going to the U.S.
is way down.
Not so
Go
great.
Canada! Yeah, it's amazing, and it's for like anyone.
So even if you're coming to visit Canada, really, really great initiative.
So BC News. Right up your alley.
Right up my alley. So Premier Eby is set probably to call for RCMP investigation of an allegation made by the Conservative leader of blackmail. So John Rustad has made an allegation, released a really, really long letter, saying that the members who have left the Conservative Party have been blackmailing the remaining members of the Conservative caucus in hopes of getting them to jump ship. Yeah. So those are some pretty serious allegations.
They are.
Because that falls under criminal code.
Yeah, you can't do that.
So the Premier said that he's encouraging John Rustad to go to the RCMP because these are criminal allegations, and that if the leader, John Rustad, does not, then the Premier will. Yeah. So stay tuned for the drama that never stops in the BC legislature.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay.
So in
Abbotsford. I thought we were trying to hurry along the border crossing openings and updating and all this fun stuff, but suddenly it's come to a screeching halt.
Well, we are.
Yeah.
So in the era where Trump is asking us
to do all this stuff,
solidify our borders, which we've done to great success, I think, the U.S., there's a delay because of all the firings.
Yes, he's laid everybody off.
Well, Doge laid off everyone in the department that plans for the upgrades of the border crossing.
Who's going to do it?
So Aldergrove and Sumas, they're both behind now. They were supposed to open.
Yeah, now it's 2027 maybe?
Yeah,
that's a long
it's going to be a while. Maybe next president. We'll see.
Yeah. In Chilliwack, this is kind of cool. School district is proposing to buy the church for $3 million that's right next to Chilliwack Middle. I've always thought that was a no-brainer because it's right there. sort of in their parking lot.
Well, and as our population grows and the number of students goes up, the amount of space we have
Yes,
isn't
very little,
going up.
especially on our side of the freeway.
Yeah, so Chilliwack North. I think that Wednesday when they had Tuesday when they had the school board meeting. There we go. What day is it? Tuesday when they had the school board meeting, it was approved. It's going to be sent to ministry to request the funds. So we're on to the next steps, and I'm really hopeful because it seems like a fantastic idea.
And then they're going to lease it back to the church for a few years till they figure out what they want to do.
And and how they want to do it and have the numbers. Yeah, I think it's a great idea. It's really, really outside of the box thinking, and really proud of everyone involved in that plan.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe we can ask Ken about that.
Yes, exactly.
So we also have the Chilliwack annual report that came out, and this was pretty great. It showed a jump in new businesses, an increase
building permits,
in
and all the things.
Yeah, so there's more money coming in for building. There's more businesses coming in. Chilliwack is a great place to invest, is basically what I'm reading in that report, and that's pretty exciting.
It is very exciting. In Hope, BC Parks announced the third tunnel is going to reopen at Othello Tunnels. I loved going there. It's so peaceful by the raging waters and walking through the tunnels. And 3 out of 5 isn't bad because it was devastated
During the floods.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a lot of work going in. So it's national money, but the province is doing the work. And just to make sure that that's rebuilt. It's an incredible site. I'm so glad that they're taking the time to do it properly.
Exactly. I'm not rushing it and causing people to...
Or not just writing it off.
Yeah.
Really great news. So in Langley, downtown business owners are really worried about construction because they're saying it's driving away customers.
Yes, and there seems to always be construction in downtown Langley.
Yeah, I mean, right now they're really working on, I think it's some old infrastructure under the road, and they're going to be building in some really great things. So like more foot traffic and permanent furniture, I think.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, it can be hard to keep a business open when there's huge disruption and people don't know if they're
And
open.
sometimes it's little businesses that are trying to stay alive that really need some support. So.
Yeah.
And it's hard to do foot traffic when even traffic can't get through.
True story. All right, so a very quick update on the story from last week about the farm in the Langley barn fire. And that was arson. It was related to an assault as well. Dozens of animals actually died.
Yeah, she'd lost her whole farm.
She did. And there's a GoFundMe page if people are looking to support around that Langley barn arson.
Yeah, look it up.
Yeah. In Mission, though, a man was arrested for vehicle theft. This isn't funny. Twice in 9 days. And like the RCMP say, like he's known.
It almost seemed like he used a stolen car to get to the next stolen vehicle. How much brain do you have to have?
I'm unclear. And there's an Uber driver. I mean, it practically writes itself as like a telenovela at this point.
Exactly.
But, all right. Up next.
That was a lot of news.
It was. Yep. It was. So, what do we do next?
When we come back, Chilliwack Mayor Ken Popove.
All right, welcome back and welcome to the show, Mayor Ken Popove. Very excited to have you here.
It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. Thanks for inviting me.
So Friday morning, bright and early. Thanks for making time.
And I'm not a morning person, but it's okay. I dragged my butt out of bed just to
for
be
us.
here.
Yes.
Just to be here.
Awesome.
What are you up to this weekend?
Oh, I got lots to do this weekend. Let's see. Saturday, I've got my yard is in the Rotary Club's garden tour.
Ooh, and you do have a beautiful yard.
For the third time, they've asked me to do it again, which I enjoy doing that just to show people what you can do in a small yard.
It's very small.
All done, yeah, but it's all planted up. And then the next day we got the car show, the 20th annual car show.
Yes.
That's
And
still
I
going
like
strong.
to remember way back when we were on the planning committee of that.
Yeah,
it's crazy so long
and
ago.
it's still going on, which is
I
really,
know.
really cool.
Yeah.
You know, big shout out to Trevor, the BIA, and his team, our team that continues us on. The weather should be okay. They're just calling for clouds, so we're gonna hope that happens.
Well, we don't want it too hot.
No, that's exactly true. And then later on in the afternoon, my wife's daughter, she's having a reveal party, whatever. Exactly
Like for a
that.
baby reveal,
For
or she
a
get a
baby.
puppy?
Yeah, get
Baby?
a puppy.
Surprise, it's a cat.
Yeah.
Well, it was a surprise.
I know. It's amazing how many different things they have to do now. Just
And
to
then
let
after
us
the
know.
car show, after I hand out my award, I'm going to go home and cook for about 30 people. So yeah,
Nice.
So it's going to be a busy weekend.
Yes,
I'll
very
make sure
busy.
my wine fridge is stocked. So it's good.
Excellent. Yeah.
I mean, all good things, though.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's going to be fun.
So city-wise,
City-wise.
a report came out this week.
Yep.
Things are up.
Things are up. Yeah, Chilliwack's rocking and rolling. I don't think we're still or in the fastest growing community, but we're now
aiming.
yeah. Well, we're touching on 108,000 people now, growing by 2% a year. So about 2,000 people moving in every year. You know, if you can't see the growth, you need to get your eyes checked or something, because we got apartments going up all over the place, north side, south side.
Yeah.
It's fun to see. We're in a little bit of catch up with our infrastructure because we're surrounded by farmland, but we do the best we can. We're adding to our parking capacity. You see in Victoria and Yonge, we purchased a couple houses there, so we're going to have some more surface parking there, which is, it's kind of a love-hate thing for me. I love having a parking problem, but then people complain about they can't find a place to park. So we got to kind of, you know, it's a balance, but it's a good thing. Yeah, with 1881's success and what's going on there, the Alger brothers are just rocking it in there. It just transformed our downtown in a mere 6 years.
Yeah.
You know, I sit on this board is called the Urban Mayors Caucus. That's me and 15 other mayors that have over 80,000 in their community, and almost every meeting, how did you guys do it so fast? Well, we just got
got good people.
We got stuff done.
Yeah.
We just took an aggressive approach, and here we are. So
Yeah, and it's working out too. The business licensing is up.
Yeah.
The building permits are up.
Yep.
And just a reflection of how Chilliwack is a place to be and invest and do business, right?
Now we're moving down Wellington Avenue with the opening of the Italian restaurant Amato. The Algers also bought the pub on the corner, which is going to be great because we're going to work together with them on the alleyway and what they're going to do to that building. And there's just all kinds of things on the plate. So it's actually fun to be me right now, just to see what's going on, to be honest with you.
And you're like, you're doing good.
Yeah, it's been fun. I got a good team. You know, I'm really blessed to have a good council. You know, we I tell people we agree to disagree, and then we go for a beer. And that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
You leave your egos at the door, and you got hired to do your job. And I miss you being a part, Kelly. I have to say, you were always there. You did your best. We didn't fight much. We did maybe complain a little bit, but
That's the job.
yeah. You know, like now the two sitting MLAs are in opposition, so it's a different breed. You know, because now they're going after, okay, what can we do? So it's
pulling the city.
It
a
is
little
what
bit,
it is. It is what it is. You know, I know you don't talk about politics, so we won't go there. I'll say that.
It's too early for that.
Yeah, exactly. I need more coffee.
Give me a couple of years, I'll be back.
Okay. There you go.
But
Ooh, that's
speaking
that's news.
speaking of good things, there's also the wrap up that just happened of the official community plan consultation, right?
Right.
And all those pizza parties that happened. So that's exciting into the future.
Lots of good interaction with the general public, which is something that we always ask for. I'm on both stations and asking people to submit ideas. You know, we have our ideas, but there's ideas that that's a good idea. We didn't think about that. Yeah. So, you know, and it's working with the public to try to achieve a good balance. You know, it'll never be perfect, but it'll be good.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of work, and this OCP was mandated by the province. I'll stay out of that. But you know, our long-range planning team are doing a bang-up job, and you know, it's going to be it's called 2050, so it's a 25-year plan. Yeah. And you know, like an OCP is it's a living document. You can pull it out, you can massage it a little bit, put it back in, and so it's a living thing that you can, you know, maybe we thought that was a good idea, but then something came along. Well, that's even a better idea. So let's you know, like amend the OCP and carry on. So it's you know, we do have the legislative power to do that, you know, and we're not diving into the gray area by no means, because we can do that. So. No, it's good. Yeah, that's been done. There's lots of stuff going on. Like I say, there's never a dull moment in my world. There's always something to do and you know, people to talk to. And
did you ever get a break?
Oh yeah.
Did you take time off?
Well, after this, meeting this morning. I got a couple more today and one this evening. So it's for me, I'm always on shift. I'm always on. I'll go to save on to buy some groceries and somebody will corner me because I am kind of recognizable, I suppose. And can you maybe have a look at this? Okay, Mr. Smith, I'll have a look at that for you or whatever. So it's all good. And that's what I signed up for. I get it. If I didn't want that, I shouldn't have done what I did.
Yeah.
So, it's been good.
Yeah, awesome.
Been good.
Well, I think there's some incredible things going on. You and the team can take credit for that. And just a shout out to definitely the staff team at the City of Chilliwack as well, because they put up with a multitude of personalities and requests and needs and work.
The whys and the wants. And
so thank you as well. But
it's been fun.
Things are looking good in Chilliwack.
You bet. And like a big hats off to our operations. We've got all the hanging baskets up and all the beds look beautiful. And, for me, I like the motto clean and green, and they're really working on the green stuff. Any way we can put in planters and more trees and whatnot, it just adds to the ambiance.
Yeah.
And it's good for the air too. It's all good for everything. So I like it.
Well, thank you so much, Ken. It was great having you on the show today.
Than's for having me. I look
Enjoy
forward to
the
do it
rest
again
of
if
your
you'd
day.
like. You betcha.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
Okay. Thank you.
Right after the break, we will be having a conversation with Lynn Kay of Lynn Kay Fashion Design and chillcouture Fashionista alumni. Yeah. So come back, we'll chat about it, and we'll see you after the break.
We Sunday driving, and the sun's bright shining. We load up the doggies, gas up our rifle. We're gonna hit that 4 lane, and then we are flying. We come alive when we Sunday driving.
Welcome back to the show. Joining us now is Lynn Kay. Lynn, yours is an exceptional story. Are you from Chilliwack, from the Fraser Valley? And you've done so much. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, first of all, my Indigenous name is Linda Joan Casey Wasimat, and my English name is Linda K. Peters. But most people call me Lynn Kay because it's on Facebook. So I've been using that as my fashion design, Lynn Kay Designs. I'm originally from Northern Ontario.
Okay.
I come from a mining community, Red Lake, Ontario, had 6 functioning mines, gold mines, and I was born there and lived there until I was about 15 or 16. And then my dad got a job in Hope, BC at Giant Mascot. It was a nickel mine there. And so he moved us to BC.
Wow.
And I've been around the Hope area basically most of my life. My parents, here, my dad's passed, my mom's still with us. And so my family's here, and I married onto the Seabird Island First Nation. And so I'm a member of the Seabird Island First Nations, and my son lives there, and my grandchildren, 4 of my grandchildren, and a great-granddaughter. And I just recently moved there from Hope, last couple months.
Oh, so really, really recently.
Yes, big, huge move because it's been 50 years since I've lived at Seabird.
Wow. Okay, that is a big move.
Yeah.
So fashion, how did you get started in that?
I guess when I think back, I think about my mom. My mom was always very fashionable. She was always dressed nice and always going up, put on her lipstick on before they went out. And I used to see pictures of her posing with her dress, with the old cameras a long time ago. And then I guess as a child, those, like, I'm really old. I'm 75, and so when we were kids, we had these little cardboard, little cutout doll things with the paper dresses you used to put on these
And
cardboard
the tabs.
things.
Yeah.
The little tabs
Yeah.
you bend over on it.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of how I got started, I think. And then after that, I guess I could credit my mother for also getting me started in that area because I tore one of her clothing bags, and oops, I was required to sew it up at the age of 6, and so I learned how to hand sew at the age of 6. And then after that, I started making my own doll clothes. And then as a teenager, I started to make my own school clothes. And then when we moved to BC, I kind of stopped sewing because I got married, I had my son, and I didn't do any sewing or designing until probably 1996 or 7 is when I started back sewing and designing again.
All right, and so in the starting back up and sewing and designing, between then and now, you have been everywhere. You've been
All over the
international
world,
with your designs, right?
Where are some of the great? Where have you been? Yeah.
Well, been places I never thought I was going to end up in. Well, I started designing in 96 again. I had a lady come and work with me at Seabird, who was a designer herself from the... I always like to give Carol credit because she was been my mentor and she still is, Carol Mason. And she started bringing some of her books to, I guess... what do you call portfolio or something to work and showing me. So she kind of got me motivated, and I started making and designing my own clothes, and she helped critique my clothing. Then I did my first fashion show at Seabird, and then I started doing fashion shows provincially in the province, and then to Alberta, and then to Saskatchewan, and to Ontario. And then I did a fashion show in New York City. I believe it was in 2015, I think. Wow. 2015. And that was an exceptional show. They treated us really well. There was 3 of us, myself, Linda LaValle, and Shxwthit'awkw Esquire, were invited to New York. And we were probably, I believe, the first Indigenous designers that they had at that specific New York couture
Fashion show.
Yeah,
Wow.
in its 10 years of existence.
Wow.
And so that was pretty amazing. They treated us really, really well. You know, we had our own seamstresses, our own coordinators, and, you know, it was really well put together. A nice big, after the show, they had a big room where they had television reporters and things like that interviewed us. And
A whole other world.
it sure was. It wasn't something that I ever even dreamed that I was going to end up being there. So that was the first, I guess I would say, big international show. And then in 2019, there was a group of a couple ladies, I think it was, they were organizing these shows to take Indigenous designers to different places. And so I was included in that, and I went to Paris in 2019. Myself and 8 other Indigenous designers went to Paris. And we did a fashion show in the Eiffel Tower.
Wow, that is fantastic.
Yes, it was something else. You know, I had a choice of either having it in the Eiffel Tower or having it downtown at one of the other places. And to me, the Eiffel Tower seemed like
Very
the place to be.
Yes. Exactly.
So one of the things, and I got to see some of your designs at last year's chillcouture, and the red dress, and you feature the red dress prominently because that's really close to your heart, right? Can you tell us about that?
Yeah. I've been involved in violence against women for quite a while with my fashions. And then when the red dress movement started picking up, I decided to include all my red dresses into just one segment. And so I've been doing quite a number of red dress fashion shows here and there. And it's to bring awareness for murdered and missing Indigenous women. It's an epidemic that's been going on for many, many years. From that I remember at the age of 8, where my mom was assaulted in Northern Ontario. And basically, she was raped and beaten unconscious with a tie around and thrown in the bush to die. Nothing ever happened to that. The men that assaulted her were never caught. There was no justice whatsoever. And she never told anybody either because there was a lot of racism in my town. You know, we were a few, because it was a mining community, 6 community functioning mines. So there was a lot of strangers driving up and down the streets looking for Indigenous women. And so there was no trust in the police, the OPP. and nothing was reported a lot of times. So a lot of our women were assaulted and nothing ever happened. And my mom never told anybody, so I feel that as a daughter, that is my responsibility to be her voice now. My mom's 101 years old.
Wow.
And she survived that. So I feel obligated to share her story. So whenever I do the red dress shows and I do presentations, I usually come from a storytelling perspective, and I share usually five or six stories that have happened all across Canada over the years, from the early mid-50s right up until today, because I want people to know that it was happening 70 years ago, it's still happening to this day.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And there are resources available. This is ongoing work. It is more important than ever. I mean, it shouldn't be ongoing work, quite frankly. There should be the resources and dedicated time and support necessary. But if you need resources for murdered, missing Indigenous women, there are resources available, and I encourage you to reach out. And especially this, tomorrow is National Indigenous Peoples Day. Another opportunity to stop and recognize and reflect on really, really important work that is being done and that is still ahead of us. So thanks so much for sharing that as well.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much for being on the show, Lynn. So much fashion knowledge and culture, and it's just been amazing. I hope to get to talk to you some more in the future. So we'll see you at chillcouture tomorrow night, right? You'll be there?
I'm not sure. I have family from out of town, and they want to go, so they said, we have plans to go. Yeah.
Okay.
Fantastic.
And thank you very much for inviting me.
So after the break, we have Natalie Bedard with a Total Wellness segment sponsored by Rivercrest Contracting, then Annette Williams from the Chilliwack Learning Society, and then we're going to highlight some must-sees for the National Indigenous Peoples Day this Saturday.
Hey everyone, I'm Natalie Bedard. I am a fitness, nutrition, and mindset coach, and the number one thing that people come to me for is to look and feel better in their bodies. And when they do that, they usually come thinking they're going to get a restrictive diet, some super secret protocol, exercise regime that is hard and that they won't be able to stick to long term. And what I tell them is that we're not going to do that. We're going to focus on the basics. And there's 5 of them really that we focus on initially. So the keys that we focus on to improve our fitness level, feeling better, looking better are: number 1, nutrition. Can you eat more balanced meals at home? More whole foods. Doesn't mean that you can't go out and eat fun foods, but most of the time eating foods that you've prepared for yourself. The second thing is movement. You don't have to run out and start doing boot camps or spend hours at the gym, but just move more than you are now. Think of an intentional walk, getting out, just walking more, parking further away from a store that you're going into and walking. The next thing is hydration. Are you drinking water, or are you drinking coffee and teas all day, or sodas? Water is really, really important to our digestion, to just feeling our best, even feeling less bloated. So water is really, really important. The next is your sleep. Are you getting 7 to 9 hours of good sleep? So if you're not, you really want to work on that. Create a bedtime routine, something that really just triggers you to think, oh, it's time to relax. Less screen time, having a dark, cool room, going to bed at a regular time, waking up at a regular time can really help with that. And then the last one is stress, one thing we all deal with. And if your stress level is really high, what are you doing to cope? are you doing things that feel joyful in life, right? So even just starting there, building awareness around the things that make you feel stressed. How are you coping with that? And really just give yourself sort of like a report card on all of these things. Start there before you look for any super secret hack, a cleanse, a detox, a boot camp. Start with these and you will see really remarkable changes. So I know these things aren't like flashy and sexy, but they really do pack a big punch. In the next weeks to come, I'll dive into these deeper and give you some more actionable steps. So that's it for now.
Hello, today I get the honor of interviewing Annette Williams from the Chilliwack Learning Society. Welcome here, Annette.
Thanks for inviting me, Carrie. I'm so pleased to be here.
That's good. So, Chilliwack Learning Society, what is it? What do you do?
We provide literacy and learning support to the community. We've been around for 35 years doing this.
Wow.
We do it for a variety of ages, so from children through to seniors.
Okay.
We kind of start out with a program we call Bookworm Friends. It was born during the pandemic, where we all saw that seniors didn't have the opportunity for a while during the pandemic to be with virtually anybody. Children for a while weren't at school. They were missing books at school as well as the libraries. And so we thought, why can't we put this group together?
Good.
So we use pandemic response funding for that, and we've just continued to keep that going.
Okay. When you say put them together, does the seniors read to the little ones?
Yes. Cool. Yes, and that's the original intention of that program, is the intergenerational component. And then it's morphed. So we have UFE students that would like to go into children's services.
Okay.
So now they're also volunteering as part of their experience.
Wow.
So we always say that it's not up to us to teach the children how to read, because there are people who are very skilled professionals who are up to date with current thought about techniques and models for that. So we're really here in that role with volunteer readers, just to support a love of where the books take them.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we have partners that will read together where the adult reads to the children. We have them reading a shared experience, or we have it where the children will read to the adults.
Neat.
So we do this one-to-one in a public spot, and we also do this in daycares and schools and preschools.
Oh, fun. So how do you get your volunteers?
Word of mouth is always really
Okay,
good.
yeah.
We do advertise as well in the media, and we go to public events in the community.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that one program, you have other programs though as well, right?
Yes, that's just one of several programs. So I'm kind of going from the youngest to the oldest. It helps me keep it straight. So we did a pilot project for a year called Ink and Imagination, and that was youth journaling. And so it was journaling either in online small groups, in-person small groups, or hybrid.
Okay.
So that was a test just to see what was the appetite for that and where would it go. That, as well as Bookworm Friends, deeply rooted in mental wellness. So not just the literacy experience of the journaling, and journaling could mean the written word as well as the images that, instead. But yeah, really on the mental wellness component. That's now changing. We have some funding for a year to do an intergenerational project.
Nice. Those are always good.
Yeah, awesome. So we're excited to see what kind of really great relationships will come out of that piece. Youngest age is 15 to 26 for the youth end, and 55 plus for the senior end. So pairing those groups together. And we want to get the youth involved with the curriculum development as well.
That's good.
On that,
They could buy in then.
Exactly. Yes. So, and we do offer services online as well as in person. That's something we have kept ever since, many of us did the online process. So we offer it based on what's best for the people involved in the program.
Okay, yeah, that's because some people just can't get out for sure.
Yeah, and then some people with anxiety, for instance, they have a hard time meeting in person. They prefer that online experience. Yeah.
Sure. Is that all the programs?
Of course,
You got
it's
a
not.
few
Now
more.
it's adults.
Yeah.
So with adults, I'll talk about the one that's easiest and really is the biggest participation program. And that's our English as an additional language program. So where we help newcomers, so immigrants, as they are really finding their way in Chilliwack. And for newcomers to us, that could mean somebody who's been for many years, has lived in Chilliwack, but has identified they really want to work on their English skills as part of their community involvement or their work search, their communication, their sense of belonging.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So we'll work with people that are doing that whole work upgrading experience with their English language, but we find that many people, they really want to work on the conversational English.
Yeah.
And that's where our very skilled and dedicated volunteer tutors come in. And they'll meet them one-to-one. We have over, I'd say, in our organization, we have 120 or 140 volunteers. And a lot of those are in this program I just mentioned to you.
Cool. And when you say tutors, they tutor other things as well, other than English, right?
Yes, that's right. So our volunteer tutors, they can do English with newcomers, but we also have another component for people who are born and raised in Canada, and it has a lot of tentacles. It's our adult learning services.
Okay.
We do financial literacy, which is honestly a boring phrase.
Yes,
You know, and I often say we talk budget. That's often the beginning of understanding money.
People get all glazed.
They do. Anytime money's talked about in general, you know. So with that, I like to call, instead of budget, spending plan.
Okay.
That just helps to frame it a little bit better mentally. So we will help people with that by doing workshops or one-to-one. We find the workshops are more popular, so we'll go into other agencies and we'll do that for them. Better Beginnings is one for new moms or expecting moms. We go there every month.
And how long is the program?
There's no specific program.
Okay.
We're learner-centered.
Okay.
So whatever that learner really wants to focus on, that's what guides us.
Okay.
We don't have classrooms.
Right.
We do all of our services in the community. So that would be in libraries, as I said, online. We'll go into other service providers' things. And,
Yes, you do. Yeah.
And then we also do have where we'll help people with their upgrading, for instance, if they're enrolled in a course and they need to improve their study habits.
Right.
And just reading, writing English. That's what people think of as literacy, but it's so much more.
Yeah, the financial stuff is very important.
It really is. And then digital literacy, as you well know.
Yeah.
So we do support people, and it's not just seniors now. Initially, it was just seniors. We find people of all ages could use support with their devices, learning to shop online, learning to navigate safely. And we're wanting to delve into some work about AI as well to help people to understand how to use that better.
Yeah. Yeah, and you definitely do that because you do that at the Society for at our but I know that sometimes they don't even know how to open their device.
Yes.
So you get some people that definitely don't even know how to do that, but then some people have been having their device forever and they're like, it could do more.
Yeah.
So your learners have to be really on the ball to know how to help people. So that's amazing.
Yeah, and one of the good things is that our volunteers have a wide array of experiences, and so we can tailor that match quite well.
Okay. So funding,
Yes, of course, we're always dependent on funding, and we do have a big fundraiser coming up. It's our annual one, October 18th, and we're going to have a dinner, dance, silent auction, and all the fun stuff at Evergreen Hall.
Okay, and how can people get tickets for that?
They can look on our website. We actually have on the homepage in the news section, we have how to get that.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
And we will be right back. So news, politics, fashion, education, wellness, and now entertainment.
We really do it all.
We do.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Enough patting ourselves on the back. We're going to dislocate a shoulder. But we really did cover a lot. Yeah.
We did. It was great to have the mayor here talking all things Chilliwack. It's always great to catch up with him.
It is wonderful to get to know more about what's going on in Chilliwack.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And Lynn was really cool to meet her.
What an honor, too. I mean, her work is incredible.
Amazing, yeah.
Annette, and speaking of great work and community.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Chilliwack Learning Society has been around for quite a while now, and I've actually helped them out a lot with their volunteer training and stuff, so it's been really cool getting to know them.
That's fantastic. And working wellness into Friday morning before we even finish our coffee is really great because it hits right before all those bad habits of the weekend kick in.
Exactly. A lot of bad. I was told once that weekends don't count.
They don't. I don't think they do.
Not
What
at
are
all.
you up to this weekend?
This weekend on Sunday, I'm going to go to the car show, of course. It's always a great time. Even if you don't like cars, we wander around and see all the people. There's always people you know, and the food is amazing.
You know who I ran into this week? I ran into Harold, who watches every morning. So good morning. And he was helping to get ready for the car show. So
Yes,
that's
he's
pretty.
very excited.
He is very excited.
Yeah. What about you? What do you do?
Well, tonight I am doing offering some opening remarks for the Ukrainian fundraiser at the Chilliwack Cultural Center.
Amazing.
That's going to be great. And then tomorrow, I have chillcouture
Yes, I'm going to that as well.
as well
Yeah.
as the Wilma's event that I think we'll talk
That's
about
beforehand, yeah.
later.
Yeah. Cool.
So speaking of that, it's National Indigenous Peoples Day tomorrow. And there are some enriching events that are available for everyone to enjoy across the valley.
Yes.
On this first weekend of summer.
Exactly. So in Abbotsford, a free celebration at Mill Lake Park happening today, starting at 9:30 till 1:30. So you got some time to get there, featuring storytelling, dance, and art, and more. It's presented in partnership with Indigenous Education Abbotsford School District. That's a tongue twister, and the City of Abbotsford's Cultural City Program Series. That's a big mouthful.
That's fantastic. So you can head over there today, and even if it's just on your lunch break, make sure you do it.
Check it
out. In Chilliwack, we've already talked about it again with Lynn. It's all about fashion, and not only fashion, but art and music and culture, and that jam session and dance competition afterwards.
That you can be part of and win prizes.
Win prizes.
Like you.
I like prizes. That's all at chillcouture 2025 tomorrow.
Yes.
And that is starting at 6 p.m.
Yes, at the Shxwthit'awkw Cultural Center.
Perfect. Before that even starts, though, you can
Andrew Christopher.
at Chilliwack Métis House.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
With a Bison Burger event, 12 to 3 p.m., which is going to be great. It's such a great event, and the Métis community in Chilliwack is so welcoming. They're so friendly.
And so that's Saturday as well. Wilma's Transition Society is hosting its 4th annual Indigenous Peoples Day event Saturday from 11 till 3 at Sardis Park.
You could fit it all in. Yeah.
Yeah, the day, it includes cultural celebrations and food trucks and face painting, bouncy castles. It's always packed. It's awesome. There's lots of space for everyone.
Great for families, for sure.
Really great for families. Yeah.
So in Langley, at City Park Northfield on Saturday, there'll be a traditional teepee raising ceremony. That'll be cool. And you'll get to learn about traditional medicines and healing practices. You'll also enjoy performances on the main stage, including drumming and dancing, and enjoy free sausages and shaved ice. Who knew?
Yay.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds great. Mission is also having events today, 11 till 3 at Heritage Park. This event is hosted by the Mission Friendship Center and is a family-friendly gathering to honor Indigenous culture and stories and traditions. And there are lots of highlights, including performances by the Fraser Valley Drum Group, the Native Heart Drum Group, and the Ukulele Club and Aztec Drum Dance Group.
TP teachings, Tony Solomon, and performances by various drumming groups, as well as crafts and face painting and silent auctions and coloring contests. A lot. Yeah.
Free food.
Including bannock and chicken and naan and chili. It's all going to be provided. So
There's a lot to do this first weekend of summer in the valley. So make sure that you get out and enjoy, and you know what? Take the time to reflect and honor what the day is about.
yes, exactly.
But
Enjoy your fabulous Fraser Valley weekend.